if you look at China and the US, there are many very different markets in terms of ride-hailing. So in the US, for instance, nearly everyone owns a car. But in China, in contrast, one car has to be shared by 6 people. So there's a shortage of supply. So the supply and demand condition in China and the US very different. Therefore, we have to develop much more sophisticated marketplace technologies to manage supply and demand, as well as match drivers with passengers than our American peers. We put a lot of effort in motivating the drivers to produce more effective supply hours. At the same time, we have to really take care of their needs and understand their preferences. So on the other hand, the urban population in China is much larger than the US, and the population is more concentrated in the urban area. To give you a number, in China, there are over 90 cities with an urban population over 1 million. And in the US, there are about, I think, 10 cities with a population of over 1 million. So the density and the concentration of the urban population makes the challenge of supply even more pronounced. And we think this is actually a huge opportunity for carpooling, for instance. If you look at the density in the metro city in the US, it's not good enough for carpooling to be very efficient. So I just came back from the Bay Area, and whenever I was there, I would get a pool service, half the price of the typical ride, but most of the time I was a lone rider. So it's a great experience for me, but it's not efficient for the platform.
And Tiger, I do want to talk about carpooling for a moment, because last year you had to suspend your carpooling service, Hitch, after the murder of a female passenger who was using that service. So you've decided to relaunch it. So what have you done differently, and why now for the relaunch?
So first of all, I have to make a clarification. So Hitch and carpooling are 2 different services. So Hitch is a service designed for non-profit use. So if I'm a regular commuter, I want to publish my scheduled trip to share the trip with another passenger so that it can cover the cost of fuel. So it requires an entirely different set of security mechanisms and risk management. And of course, we realize we have to put a lot of effort to make the Hitch safer. But at the end, we are just, so for Hitch, we're merely like an information provider connecting the riders and passengers, and they are making the final decision whether to accept an order.
Don't you feel a level of responsibility there?
Exactly. Actually, when we announced the plan to relaunch Hitch, there are a lot of criticisms, like why wouldn't be able to offer the same service time for like the female users. So like I'm an engineer, I'm a data scientist. I think from my view, it's a very data-driven decision. So if I just look at the stats, the sexual-related complaints from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. are nearly like 50% higher. From 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. is like 400 times more. So if you just look at the stats, and I think it means we have to work really harder to raise the bar of safety standard. But I think the high expectation and the pressure from the consumers is good for us. It will continue to make us better.
And so what specifically have you done to ensure safety?
So it's like a combination of online technology with offline risk management. Like for instance, we took a lot of unnecessary features offline. So just make it a very simple and safe user experience.